Hi everyone! Welcome to week 1 of the VGC Casters Cup. So, for this week, my opponent will be Lee, aka Osirus, and Lee's got a team of Incineroar, P2, Conkeldurr, Slowbro, Vileplume, Vikavolt, Rhydon, Haunter, Clefable, Golduck, Rampardos, and Sizzle. So, my immediate thoughts when I see this team is that it's a hard Trick Room team. And I think the fastest Pokemon on Lee's side is that Haunter. Now, I don't actually remember Haunter's base speed, but I know Gengar is 110, and Haunter is slightly slower. So, immediately off the bat, I think Lee's going to try and rely on the hard Trick Room mode of his team. Now, if I'm Lee and I'm looking at my team, I definitely think I'd want to bench the Conkeldurr and one of the I think probably either Rhydon or Rampardos. I think I'd bench Rhydon and Rampardos just because there's not really much electric coverage. I mean, yes, I have a Zeb Striker, but that thing doesn't really do damage. And Rampardos is great, but it's also very frail, and one Jet Punch and it just, will just go down. And also, I definitely don't think the Conkeldurr is going to come because I have a Galarian Weezing, and yeah, you don't want to self-burn yourself with no Guts ability active. So I feel fairly confident that Lee's going to bench Conkeldurr, Rhydon, and Rampardos. Now, looking at Lee's team, I think the Clefable and the Vikavolt are definitely going to come. They are so strong against my team. I have a double Intimidate core, which the two special attackers aren't going to care about. Clefable has quite a nice ability in Magic Guard as well, which means that it can hold a Life Orb and not have to suffer from recoil. So I think Lee is going to lead the Vikavolt, or not lead, sorry, he's going to bring the Vikavolt and the Clefable. And I'm pretty certain he's going to bring that Slowbro as well, just because nothing on my team can really hit it for super effective. I've got Scrafty and Quillfish, and they're both dark types, but they're not really offensive Pokemon. And I do have Executor, which has grass moves that will really threaten it. Same with Zeb Striker, but I think, well, I'm not going to bring the Executor because it's just threatened by Ice Beam from P2, possible Ice Beam from, the Slowbro, the Golduck, doesn't like facing off against Sizzle or Vikavolt or Clefable, can get Sludge Bombed by Haunter, and Conkeldurr might carry Ice Punch, so I think this is I'm definitely benching Sentret, and Cloyster and Executor. And I think if I were to make a guess, I think Lee would bring P2, Slowbro, Vikavolt, Clefable, Incineroar, and possibly Sizzle. I think they're... because I don't have a fire type, and Sizzle's very good defensively against my physically offensive team. And I know that the Incineroar is kind of interesting, right? Because it's Incineroar, it's bulky, it's got a lot of fantastic moves, but at the same time it's also facing a rain team and two fighting types. So I'm not sure if Lee will bring Incineroar, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he brought it. So with that being said, I would bring Scrafty is a definite. Lee doesn't have anything besides the Clefable to hit it with. Actually, he's got the Sizzle with Bug moves and Vikavolt, but I think if he brings the Conkeldurr, the Vikavolt and the Clefable, that's a pretty good check to my Scrafty. But I'm still going to bring Scrafty because Intimidate is going to be so good against his fairly physical team. And on that note, I'm also going to bring Quillfish. Now, I know I said earlier that Quillfish, I'm not that sold on Quillfish on my team, but at least I haven't traded it yet, so I think for this week I will bring the double Intimidate. It is really nice against Lee's team. And I am going to bring Gallade because Gallade can learn Trick Room and Imprison, which can be a great way to shut down any Trick Rooms. It won't get affected by Follow Me's, and if that Slowbro is oblivious, then I can still shut it down. Now, of course, the Gallade can get faked out by the Incineroar, but if I have Scrafty with, say, Quick Guard, then I can block the fake out. The other thing is I can simply allow the turn 1 fake out Trick Room play to go up, and then turn 2 I will just reverse it. If I lead, say, Gallade Scrafty, and Incineroar's fake out goes onto Gallade, I can fake out the Slowbro or the Porygon. And if if fake out goes on the Scrafty, then I Imprison. So I think Gallade Scrafty is a good lead for me. So I'll have Gallade Scrafty, Quillfish, and I'm gonna bring Palafin because it's just really strong overall. Lee doesn't really have much to threaten the Palafin besides the Vikavolt and the Vileplume. And I don't really see Lee bringing in the Vileplume, to be honest, because I've got a Gallade with Psycho Cut, Ninetales, Ice moves, Pelipper with the flying moves. So yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing... Like, if I were to guess what Lee will bring, it's Porygon 2, Slowbro, Incin, Scizor, Clefable, Vikavolt. So with that being said, I think... I'd like to bring Ninetales for the Aurora Veil. Lee has nothing to stop my weather. Well, besides the Golduck, but the Golduck doesn't stop the weather from going up, it just stops the effects of it from happening, which means that I just need to get rid of a Golduck, which, you know, it's a pretty frail Pokemon, it's not that hard. So I think I'd like to bring Ninetales, and as a last Pokemon, I think there's a case to be made between Pelipper, Zebstrika, and Cottony. But I think ultimately, because the Scrafty and the Quillfish, and also the Ninetales aren't that offensive, they'll do good chip damage, but it's not that great. I think I'd bring Pelipper, because then Pelipper can also enable the Palafin. And there's a case to be made for Zebstrika, because Zebstrika can protect my team from the Vikavolt. And I wonder if Lee will bring Vikavolt and Rhydon, actually. He could get a Discrete combo off. I don't know, ultimately I think just the Zebstrika isn't that offensive, and Cottony, well, it's forced to hold the Focus Sash, because otherwise a Scizor Bullet Punch would just knock it out, and that means... I don't know, Cottony, I think there's a case to be made in future games for Cottony, but this one I think I'll bring Pelipper just for the more offensive pressure. So with that being said, let's take a look at the team that I ended up building and bringing. Oops. So, here is the team. There's Ninetales with a pretty standard moveset of Blizzard, Freeze Dry, Aurora Veil, and Encore with the Light Clay. Now, I know most of the time in a tournament style setting, Ninetales is probably going to want Moonblast, but against Lee's team, nothing really really take super effective damage from the Moonblast besides the Conkeldurr, and I just don't see the Conkeldurr coming in at all. So I feel fairly safe not having Moonblast on it, and Encore possibly could be quite nice. Say if against an Incineroar lead, I could switch in the Ninetales, and then after I've denied the Trick Room setup within Prison, I can then Encore the Fake Out. So I think Encore is a nice disruptive move. Aurora Veil because, Aurora Veil Blizzard because that's good spam, and Freeze Dry in case of any Terra Water types as well. Like, looking at my team, it's predominantly a rain team, so I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Terra Water from Lee's end. And you will notice this Ninetales has very little speed investment. Actually, I just realized I forgot to use... Did I forget to use a mint on this Ninetales? Yeah, oops. I meant to use a mint on it to make it modest, but it looks like I used the wrong mint and made it timid instead. But that's okay. It's... I think Ninetales wasn't really doing damage anyway. Next up we've got... Oh, actually, sorry, I'm going to talk about the Terra types as well. So Ninetales, Terra Water, just in case of getting Flare Blitz, or maybe that Sizzle coming in with a Bullet Punch. I don't see myself, unless I desperately need Ninetales to survive and there's a Sizzle on the field. I think most of the time I'd probably keep Ninetales as its regular typing, but that Terra Water is just nice insurance to have. Next up is Pelipper. Now you will notice that this Pelipper has Helping Hand instead of the more common movesets like Wide Guard or Tailwind. Now first up, I'm going to opt for no speed control on this team because Lee's team is so slow that I don't think I'll need speed control. There is a case to be made for, say, Sizzle having Tailwind, or maybe an Icy Wind from a Golduck or Haunter, but I'm willing to take that risk and invest more EVs in the defense, HP, special defense than on speed. And I did debate putting Wide Guard onto Pelipper. The thing is, this is closed team sheet format, and Lee doesn't know that I don't have Wide Guard. I know he's got a lot of spread moves on his team potentially, such as Rock Slide, Discharge, Earthquake, but if Lee doesn't know that I don't have Wide Guard, he might think I have Wide Guard and not want to click those spread moves. And Helping Hand it's a great move against the rest of them, or for the rest of my team. You'll notice that they're not particularly offensive, so a Helping Hand boost can go a long way. And Terra Ground, just in case I get hit with some electric moves, or if I'm forced to say face off against a Rhydon that thinks spamming Rock Slide is a good idea, which, with Terra Ground, then Pelipper at least resists it. I might get flinched, but I'll at least survive the turn. I've still got the Focus Sash on Pelipper anyway, because Pelipper I think is actually one of the more offensive Pokemon on this team, so I would like it to at least have one turn of survival. The next Pokemon is Gallade, and yeah, this Gallade moveset is disgusting. You would never ever run this in a tournament setting because, well, it's only got fighting type moves, which means that in an open team sheet format, the opponent knows that the Gallade cannot touch any ghosts or, has a very hard time against, say, bugs and fairies, but in a closed team sheet format, Lee's not going to know that I only carry fighting type moves. And obviously Trick Room and Imprison is the whole reason why I have Gallade on this team. And I'm putting Protect there because my plan going into this game is to lead with Gallade plus something like probably Scrafty, or maybe Gallade Palafin, swap out Palafin for something else. But basically, the idea is that I will deny the Trick Room by going for the Imprison, and then once the Trick Room is denied, I have the speed advantage. But with Lee could go for a Protect, and he's got some very powerful offensive Pokemon, and I don't want to run the Protect game of trying to guess which Pokemon is going to go for the Protect. So once I imprison the Trick Room, and also the Protect has been imprisoned, then I can use Gallade and its partner to KO whatever threat is on the field without fear that they're going to go for a Protect. So, you know, Gallade's primarily a very supportive moveset. I think in hindsight, after I trained it, I think it probably should have been Bold Nature. I made it adamant with some investment in attack, so that this Gallade can one-shot an Incineroar with 252 HP. The issue is that Gallade, because it's not got a clear amulet, it's probably going to get intimidated anyway, so in hindsight, I think that attack investment is kind of unnecessary, but anyway, it is what it is. I'm not going to change it, it's too much effort, so Gallade's gonna stay that way, and you know, Adamant Gallade with sharpness, even at -1 attack, it's probably still gonna do a good bit of damage. Next up is my Scrafty. Oh wait, hold on, sorry, I'm just gonna go back to Gallade and talk about the Terra types. I mean, Steel's a pretty common Terra type for a fighting type, and I know Gallade, that makes Gallade then weak to fire, fighting, and ground types. Now, the only fighting coverage I can see on Lee's team is that Conkeldurr, which, as I said, I don't think is going to bring, so I don't think I need to worry about the Conkeldurr. There is the issue of fire-type moves from Incineroar and ground-type moves from the Rhydon or the Rampardos. But the thing is, they're weak to Gallade's Sacred Sword, and with me having Imprison Protect, then I think the Gallade's fine, I can deal with it. And Incineroar doesn't like Sacred Sword, also have a rain team, so I can switch in the rain and just halve the damage. Anyway, next up is a Scrafty. So Scrafty is, you'll notice, incredibly specially defensive. This Scrafty, because I'm very, very scared of that Clefable, is EV'd to survive. Modest max special attack, Moonblast Clefable with a life orb. That's how much. Oh, behind Aurora Veil. There's no chance Scrafty survives without the Aurora Veil, but with the Aurora Veil, Scrafty can actually survive a life orb, stab, super powerful attack from Clefable. So this is a pretty nice set. I did debate having Fake Out, Knockoff, and Drain Punch on Gibbons on Scrafty. The other move I think could either be Snarl or Upper Hand. I debated Upper Hand, which I think would be very useful against Incineroar and possibly against the Scizor. But ultimately I think because there might be, I don't know what Lee's going to bring, I'm just making a guess, and this is the team that I built based on what I'm guessing he's going to bring. But if there is a situation where I'm unable to set up Aurora Veil, I have no way of reducing special damage on Lee's side, so I'm going to, and I want that Snarl just so that I can nerf the special attackers a little bit. And it's Terra Poison. I did think about Terra Steel, but I don't know, I just wanted some spicy variety to the Scrafty. I also wanted to scare Lee in team preview by making him think I had Poison Jab on the Scrafty, which it doesn't. But Poison, good defensive typing, isn't weak to fire or fighting like Gallade's Terra Steel, so it gives me another option if, say, I saw an unfavorable matchup. Next up is Quillfish. Now, as I mentioned in my draft picks video, I'm not sold on the Quillfish. It was only after I picked Quillfish that I realized it didn't learn knockoff, which is really annoying. Like, Quillfish's move pool is just absolutely miserable. It does not learn very much. I think the poison, I did need the poison coverage. I thought about Gunk Shot, but Gunk Shot being 80% accurate, even though it's a guaranteed OHKO on Clefable, in the end, it potentially has a chance of doing 0 damage if it misses, whereas Poison Jab is a 2-hit KO on Clefable even at -1. So I felt more comfortable with the Quillfish in the end, and could get a cheeky poison. Actually, Gunk Shot does the same. I did need the dark coverage. I would have preferred knockoff, but unfortunately Quillfish doesn't learn knockoff. So I think for dark coverage, my choices were Throat Chop, Crunch, or Lash Out. Lash Out's a bit situational. Crunch could be good, but I end up going with Throat Chop because I could shut down potentially a Bug Buzz from the Vikavolt, or a Parting Shot or Snarl from the Incineroar. And then Taunt, I know it's not that useful against Slowbro because Slowbro could very likely have Oblivious, but if I'm facing a P2, I could Taunt it, and I could also Taunt any other random support moves I see. If there's anything I've learned in closed team sheet format, it's that you want to carry Taunt sometimes against teams you have no idea what's going to happen, because you don't want random, I don't know, sleep powders or something coming on. And the last move, Quillfish, I don't think Quillfish needs the Protect because it's so bulky, but it really doesn't have anything else. So I figured, can't go wrong with Protect. And now the Stellar typing makes it look more offensive than it does, which I'm hoping might score some advantages for me in team preview. But the whole reason why I went with Stellar was actually because I like this Dark and Poison typing. I think it's a really good defensive typing. The only thing I have to worry about is Ground, which, I have a Rain and Snow team. Ground types, and I've got 2 fighting types, so Ground isn't really... I know fighting isn't super effective against Ground, but League's Ground type users will be the Rhydon, and Rampardos being a Rock type, it does learn Ground moves, so yeah, I'm just not scared of any Ground type users. So I think Quillfish, it's a good typing for it. Dark and Poison, Stellar, that means I'm not going to lose my great defensive typing. Now next up is Palafin. This Palafin is fairly standard, except for the Terra Blast Grass. One of the reasons I went with it was I think Lee might bring Golduck. I'm not entirely certain he will, but he could because I have got Dual Weather. And this Palafin is EV to OHKO, a 252 HP Golduck with Terra Blast Grass. It also gives me another way to hit the Slowbro because, as you will see, I don't have that much offensive. I've got 2 Dark types and a Freeze Drive, but my 2 Dark types aren't really offensive, so I did need something else. And it's also, I think, Terra Grass Palafin is not that unheard of. Plenty of people run it in Regulation. I mean, Palafin's not that common in Regulation H anymore, but the ones that are there, it's either Terra Water or Terra Grass for, all the spore immunities and the resistances to electric and grass. So I don't think Lee is going to see this Terra Blast coming, which I think is going to be very helpful in me, say, getting a surprise KO either game 1 or me saving it until a later game and using it to surprise him. So anyway, that's the team. And let's go and jump into our battle. So these got Haunter Sizzle, Vileplume, Incense Slowbro, and Rhydon. So no P2, which surprises me because I thought he would bring P2 and Vikavolt. Interesting, okay. Alright. That changes things, but because the... Sorry, I'm just messaging Lee at the moment. So because there's no Golduck, I can lead Ninetales. In fact, I can lead Scrafty. I think Scrafty's very good here. I definitely think the Slowbro. I could lead Scrafty Ninetale. No, Scrafty Palafin. And... okay. Oh, I'm running out of time. How about Scrafty Palafin? Galade's not the best pick, I think. Scrafty Ninetales, actually. With Palafin in the back. And let's do this. I'm gonna try this. I'm not too sure if that's gonna work because I did not expect Lee to bring this team. I was prepping very hard for a Vikavolt, Slowbro, Clefable lead. So... okay. Now... I could just knock off and Aurora Veil. I don't think there's... Oh, okay. Oh, that did no damage. Okay, that's fine. Haunter. Okay. That victory, that Vileplume was interesting. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. What is Lee gonna bring out next? Okay, so I'm gonna actually bring in Palafin, and then I might do a double swap. Actually, I'm gonna double swap into Palafin here. Let's do this. So I don't know if there's a sludge bomb coming, but this... Does Victory Bell... No, sorry, not Victory Bell. Biofuel and Sleep Powder? I've got no idea, man. That Star Haunter really took me by surprise. Oblivious. Okay, good. That's fine. Oh, okay. Terra. Okay. Fairy. That's good. That's not just good, that's excellent. Now I can poison jab. That did no damage. Oh, that doesn't matter. Now, I think the Rhydon is coming in. Which means I am gonna swap in my Ninetales. And then... Okay, wanna see something funny? I don't... Wait, you might wanna... I think I might wanna switch. Okay, so... Ninetales, swap in. Crafty, swap in. And Scorbunnys Lone Rain Dance. I don't know. Wait, did it keep us? Sorry, not the Biofuel Stadium, which is very interesting. Okay. Oh, it's expanding force, is it? Sure. Oh. Oh, because it's... Oh, that's fine. Because... How is my opponent going... Oh, I actually misplayed, didn't I? I made a misplay, but that's fine. Let's Aurora Veil now. And poison jab this thing. Aw, that didn't live. Now I know. Now I know that the Slowbro has Trick Room, Expanding Force, Psychic Terrain, and how many sort of Trick Rooms left? I'm gonna do this. Throat chop. It's looking a little dire, let's say. Okay. I don't know if Powerful can is fine. Okay. Ow, Rocky Helmer, what is this? Okay. Let's do some spiciness. Do you think V is gonna sludge bomb? Well, I'm gonna poison jab that. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is the final turn of trickery. Oh, I have an idea. Oh, yes. Excellent. So, now we've got a bit of a problem. Oh wait, no, depending on what the last Pokemon is, we've got one more Pokemon left, right? So, what is Lee's fun? Oh yes! Now I can Wave Crash. Let's Wave Crash and Throat Chop, I guess. That was Wave Crash. Billions. So that was alright. Phew, that was close. Right. I think game 2 I'm gonna lead the Palafin. Let's try something else this time. Palafin and Scrafty? I like Scrafty. I think Quillfish did a marvelous job last time, so let's do that. And let's do Pelipper. Ooh. Okay, I'm not scared of the Scizor. So Vileplume has Moonblast, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, and I've got no idea what the last move is. But I don't think Ninetales was the play. Okay. I have an idea. The idea might not be a good idea, but it is an idea. In fact, I've forgotten what the idea is. Global Hunter, okay. This is fun. Now I get to switch out. Brilliant. Actually, let's not switch out. Let's protect and do this, which is very funny. Okay. Oh, spicy. yes, beautiful. Now that is what I call beautiful. And now the Haunter's stuck in Destiny Bond, which means I can just go for a knockoff. I don't care about the Haunter anymore. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, what haircut is that right on again? Electric, okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Everything is going according to plan. Now, Pelipper can go for a protect. Billfish can come in. And then I can drop a bunch of intimidates. The Slowbro isn't a big threat right now. Don't think? Oh, even more beautiful. Oh, what are we gonna see? Okay. Now that Rhydon is at -1 attack. I can swap Pelipper out. Get the Godfather in. Now I can... It's kind of annoying. I'm just... Oh, let's just protect. Sizzle? Okay. Okay, good, good. Now, how many more turns of freaking no left? Gonna get powerful in. And then I'm gonna throat chop this feather. Okay. Who's coming out? Rhydon. Okay. Okay, that did very sad damage. Thing is, this Rhydon is very heavily threatened, so let's bring in Scrafty. Let's poison jab this fellow. I'm not in a bad position, I think. I do wanna make sure the palace is preserved. Okay, good. Intimidate block. Good. Good, good, good. Excellent. That's excellent. Now, let's go for a snarl. And no, let's go for a fake out onto this and bring in the Pelipper. I think we can set up the Trick Room. I'm not that bothered at the moment. And then I'm just gonna slowly, yeah, that's good. Not the worst. What I'm gonna do now is go for the knockoff onto this Rhydon. And then swap in Quillfish. This is a very stally battle. I hope you're not going to die. I didn't know Oblivious stopped. Anyway, Rhydon is Terra Electric. Okay, cool, we baited out the Terra. That's good. What? Oh. Oh, beautiful. The Eviolite Bomb? Yes. Okay. That's even more beautiful now. Now let's go for a Snarl. And let's go for a Poison Jab. Or actually, I'm gonna go for a Taunt. Okay. Nice, nice. How many turns of Trick Room left? 2 more turns. Which means if I swap in Pelipper now, how many turns of rain? Oh, that's no good. Well, actually, so I can swap in Pelipper. So not Pelipper, Palahome. And then go for a basically, I'm in a position where good. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now I can protect. Let's poison jab this guy. Because I'm happy to sack the Qwilfish at this point. Also, the Biofilm is at -1 special attack, so it's not really a threat. Okay. That's very nice. Okay. Now let's Terra Blast this thing and Throat Chop. Now I'm not 100% sure that I can get the KO, but I'm sort of quite different. But I think I'm happy with this because the Vile Plume is -1 special attack, so it... Oh, that's some juicy damage. Oh yes, beautiful. That's very beautiful. Okay, so now the Haunters come out, and I can Jet Punch the Haunter now, because that thing's got the top gut. So what I'm gonna do is the Jet Punch this feather, and I hope that KOs. It better KO. Okay, come on, Jet Punch. I believe in you, Paladin. Oh yes. Yes, okay, good. Got the KO. Oh, go Paladin. Did Paladin pick up all the KOs? No, Qwilfish. Okay, let's Wave Crash this and Hurricane this. I don't think they're gonna survive. Okay. Yeah, Rhydon's lost its Eviolite, so it shouldn't. It will be very simple. Yeah, you can't. This is rain boosted. I'm surprised to see no Golduck. Oh, wait, the Vine moves faster? Huh. How fast is Biofilm? That was of a fun game. Paladin is kind of broken, I must say. Yeah, alright. That concludes week 1.